Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the performance of the newly extremely awakened Super Saiyan 4 Strength Vegeta unit that recently came to DBZ Dokkan Battle Global as a part of the EX of the anniversary. So obviously this guy got an easy A alongside Goku, and both of them are pretty good. They were the 4th year anniversary units, and I'm very fortunate enough to have this guy at 100% in the hidden potential system and at link level 10. So this is going to be a max showcase, which is pretty damn cool. Vegeta is a 180% Vegeta's family lead. He massively raises attack and raises defense on his 12 key, and he massively raises attack and defense on his 18 key. He also has attack and defense of 140%, plus an additional attack of 10% and defense of 20% at the start of each turn, with attack up to 30% and defense up to 60% max. He gains an additional key plus 2 per rainbow or key or strength key spheres obtained, and gains an additional key plus 1 per type key sphere obtained that isn't a strength key sphere. He has a medium chance of evading the enemy's super attack and countering with tremendous power, and disables the attacked enemy's actions once within the turn when facing 2 or more enemies, when activating the active skill, or when he performs a super attack when key is 24. So that's pretty good. Overall, I think it's really solid. Obviously, I think it's pretty good, comparable to Goku's. I think it's much the same, but I think this helps Vegeta a lot more. Vegeta was way off the pace compared to Goku, just due to obviously the fact that Goku massively raised defense on his 12 key as well. So now Vegeta looks a lot better comparatively to what he was. In terms of links, he has Super Saiyan, Saiyan Raw, Prepared for Battle, Saiyan Pride, GT, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. And on categories, he has Shadow Dragons, Pure Saiyans, Shadow Dragon Saga, Pure Saiyans, Vegeta's Family, Worthy Rivals, Saviors, Giant Ape Power, Miraculous Awakening, Gifted Warriors, GT Heroes, Battle of Fate, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, and Bond of Parent and Child. We're going to be trying Vegeta out on the GT Heroes team, and we're going to be trying him out on the Vegeta's Family team. So the Vegeta's Family will be around about 180% in leader skill, and the same on the GT Heroes team. Generally speaking, Vegeta links pretty well with other Super Saiyan 4 units. The priority links for him are going to be links like Saiyan Raw and GT. Saiyan Pride is also a pretty strong attack link. It's something you should be able to get quite easily on a Vegeta's Family or on a Pure Saiyan's team. And the rest of his links, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, and Super Saiyan, are all incredibly common links. So yes, it is pretty easy to do basically, but I think Vegeta is a very strong unit that has great link sets and it's just very strong overall. Yeah, we have him in a rotation. He has double supports here, so just keep that in mind. He has a very strong starting defense of 213,000, which is very good. None of his major links active, but that's kind of made up for by the double support, to be entirely honest. And when he fires this 18 key super attack, he'll have around about 400,000 defense, which is very solid. It's very good. I mean, when I say solid, it's incredibly good. He and Goku are just, I think that were done so well, and I think just do so much compared to what they were. I think they really did these guys incredibly well. It could be the link sets, it could just be because GT Heroes and a lot of their teams are really good. But I just think both of these units were really done incredibly well, and I think for the most part they just do such a good amount of damage. Obviously neither of them have super effective against all types or crits built into their system, so if there is one thing that you should focus on when building these units, it is going to be crits. Crit is an incredibly important thing when you have such high attack stats. The 8 millions and the 9 millions and the 11 million attack stats that they're going to do are not going to matter if you don't get the crits off. Once you get the crits off, you'll be having a much easier time, and then you should be able to kind of progress from there, generally speaking. But yeah, overall, I think for me, at least for the most part, I would say that Vegeta is much better than what he was, or what he used to be. I think Vegeta is way more viable in a ton of teams. I think he's an incredibly good unit. I think he's so much stronger at the start of the turn now. So here we can see him with only one support. Similar defense to last turn. He is missing prepared for battle, but that's not a major issue. And yeah, he is still looking really solid. He links pretty well with the GT duo. They share 5 links with him, I believe. So yeah, they share 5 links with him, which is obviously great. And he shares 5 links with the Super Saiyan Full Power Goku, with the Strength Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and he also shares 6 links, obviously, with the AGL LR Goku. So they make a very cool, very dominant pairing, which I think a lot of people can definitely appreciate. For the most part, they definitely make a very strong pairing. And yeah, for me, it's just very powerful. The combo that they are at. And Vegeta does a very good number of attack again, and has very solid defense. So we saw really good numbers there. We can see that obviously at a Rainbow and a Max Link level, Vegeta's starting defense is around 210,000 with support, sitting around the 200k mark. When he fires his 18 key, that's going to double, and so he's looking at around the 400k mark, and even if he fires an additional, that defense will go up a little bit as well. So Vegeta is looking really solid. I think overall, in terms of his damage output, starts off pretty strong. He won't grow as fast as Goku, nor will he hit as hard as Goku, but still pretty decent, I would say. Still a really solid unit overall in terms of raw output. Here we're going to be trying him on the Vegeta's family team, and we're going to take a look at how well he does here. But yeah, just in terms of his performance here, 184,000 defense. You can see the difference between the Easy 8 one and the non-Easy 8 one, by the way. 52,000 defense, so massive gain for Vegeta. And yeah, immediately that looks really solid. We're not too concerned about his attack stat here because he is only getting his 12 key. But he's getting a very good support from Vegeta here. And yeah, it just overall looks pretty solid. Again, 3.2 million on a 12 key is decent. And after this, his defense would be sitting at just over the 200k mark, which is pretty solid because he doesn't massively raise defense on his 12 key. So it's good to know those kind of stats. So yeah, overall he looks pretty solid. I really like what he brings to the table. In terms of his link set on a Vegeta's family team, so beyond the grade 8 units, that's where a lot of the Super Saiyan 4 units start to kind of lose their way. Obviously Saiyan Raw is such a big part of their kit, but they do generally share 4 links with a lot of other units. Links like Prepared for Battle, links like Super Saiyan, links like Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, they share with a ton of units. And they also share GT, obviously, with some units. For example, GT Goku, GT Vegeta, who also have the benefit of having Saiyan Raw, I believe, which is pretty good. Saiyan Raw being such a pivotal link. So yeah, generally, well, they don't share Saiyan Raw actually. They just share GT, but GT is still pretty good. So yeah, GT is really solid. Obviously, that's a great link for them to share. You got the Heroes Vegeta, you've got SS4 Broly, you've got quite a few decent units that do work pretty well for you. So yeah, overall it's just a really solid time, honestly speaking. Like here we have 3 links active, 214,000 defense, which is pretty decent. We've got quite a bit of support under rotation from Bulla, who's pretty solid attack support. We've got the support from the Xeno Vegeta, and yeah, we'll take a look at just how well this Vegeta does. 7-ish million, pretty solid. We are missing quite a few crucial links for Vegeta, But he is more a all-round unit than Goku, in a sense that his stats are pretty solid from the get-go, and he has relatively higher defense. So overall, he's a little bit more all-round and doesn't have such a high amount of attack damage to compensate for it. Goku can hit a bit harder, but generally Vegeta is a bit tankier at the start of turn. And that's how it works out for them quite well. So yeah, for me, I think he's an incredibly good unit. I think the numbers we've seen are also incredibly good. And I think, yeah, across the board, if I had to rate his easy air, I'd probably just like Goku, give it an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. I think it makes him usable in some of the hardest content in the game. Yes, we are evaluating them at max level, at pretty much 100%, like level 10. But I think, yeah, you do have to kind of respect how the unit functions, and I think he functions great. I think he does a fantastic job at what you need him to do. I think he does good damage. I think he has very solid defense. I think for the most part, you're going to be having a good time if you're planning on using him. Not to mention his leader skill is pretty solid. And yeah, just all around his links are pretty strong. Even without Saiyan Raw, I think generally his links are pretty strong. And yeah, for me, I just think the whole design of Vegeta and Goku is very good. Not to mention what you didn't see at all, the counters or the evasion of supers in the counters is something that's very, very strong. So yeah, for me, I think they've been easy-aid really well. And in terms of links, there's only a few that you need to focus on. Prepared for Battle is obviously one that's super important. It's a major key link. Super Saiyan's a very common attack link. Fierce Battle is a very common attack link. And then Legendary Power is also a very common attack link. If you manage to get these done, you're probably going to have an okay time. I can't see you having too many issues if you get these links active. And you'll get a decent amount out of Vegeta. You won't get the most out of him defensively, but you should have a pretty decent time. Then if you really want to focus on like another link, generally speaking, it's going to be Legendary Powers, probably the next easiest to go. You can see there's quite a few decent units from that perspective. Obviously the other two, the 3rd year anniversary LRs, link pretty well with them as well. So yeah, across the board it's just pretty decent. Obviously the priority links are going to be Saiyan Raw and GT. Saiyan Raw being an incredibly powerful link with 25% attack and 10% defense. But Saiyan Pride's also a pretty good one. 20%, and it's fairly common on Vegeta teams. You can proc it quite easily, I think, and you shouldn't really have too many issues in getting it done. But yeah, in terms of major links, obviously, as I mentioned, Saiyan Raw and GT, and you're going to be able to get those quite easily if you focus on, obviously, Super Saiyan 4 units like Goku or Full Power Goku or the LR GT duo. I think for the most part you'll get pretty good results and you'll get pretty good linking. Not to mention Full Power Goku recently got his EZA, AGL Goku recently got his EZA, and yeah, pretty much everything is pretty good in terms of like linking partners and everything like that. So you've got quite a few decent options. I would say obviously AGL Goku is technically the best, or the GT duo. Either of those will be more than fine. Both of them are very, very strong. Otherwise you can run Full Power SS4 Goku, and if you can't run either of those, you can run the 3rd year LRs. And if you can't run any of those, you can still run units like Team Gohan, GT Heroes Vegeta, and yeah, you can just run so many different units. So his link set's super duper versatile, and it just works. If you can't get Saiyan Raw, you can still get a lot of major links, and if you do manage to get Saiyan Raw, you're going to see a very, very impressive Vegeta. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not really too much else to focus on. Like I said, you've got the GT Heroes units as well, so you should have more than enough to play with when choosing his linking partners, and you should see a pretty decent performance from him no matter which of these units you link him up with. Because his defense is really solid, he can get up to some really decent points, and his offense is really good, and he has the counters and evasions, and he has an active skill. So you got, like, realistically speaking, a pretty full kit to deal with. But that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care and bye.